Hey guys, so I'm here to review ECW for the 14th of April 2009, and this is the ECW straight after the WWE draft. And it was an interesting show. It was a pretty good show, I felt. The main reason that it was a good show was the first contest, singles contest between John Morrison and Evan Bourne. And I said in my review of Raw that I was frustrated that The Miz had been drafted to Raw and John Morrison had been left on ECW, because John Morrison, I feel, is the accomplished singles wrestler who deserves a push. But the more I think about it, and especially after seeing today's ECW, I'm thinking it might not be that bad a thing after all. ECW has John Morrison, it has Evan Bourne, it has Christian. I mean, it has Jack Swagger, it has some really talented young wrestlers who really, if you put them together, could do so well. Case in point being this match, which, from what I can recall, with the exception of under Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania and the Raw Elimination Chamber at No Way Out, was the most entertaining match I've seen this year so far. Absolutely jaw-droppingly spectacular singles match. Displayed so many levels of John Morrison that I didn't know were there, and I love John Morrison. Great heel wrestling from John Morrison, really good, stiff, striking offense, and submission holds, aggressive submissions. Combine that with his athleticism and his flexibility, I mean, the guy is just the perfect heel. And it was good, him being against Evan Bourne, because he could exercise a power advantage, which made his heel wrestling even more impressive. But there was just a whole series of fantastic stiff offense between the two of them. They were given a decent length of time to really show what they could do. Absolutely just mind-blowing stuff. Mind-blowing. This is what I watch wrestling for. I mean, just spectacular offense, amazing flying kicks, dancing kicks, high-flying maneuvers, outside, inside, submissions, covers. John Morrison used a modified torture rack, which I thought was, a torture rack? That's impressive. That's really impressive. I mean, it was just, it was interesting to watch. Really, it showed a different side to both of them, and I would watch that match over and over again. It was the best thing I've seen on ECW in a long time, and if this is the future of ECW, then I will be tuning in every week without fail. At the end of the match, Evan Bourne goes for the shooting star press. A beautiful finish to this match, actually. Absolutely beautiful finish. Morrison hits that spinning shin kick to the head while Bourne is on the top rope. Fantastically planted right in the right place. And then hits the Moonlight Drive, but off the top rope. I'm not 100% sold on the Moonlight Drive as a finishing maneuver, but from Evan Bourne being on the top rope, the impact was fantastic. It looked like it really hurt. Great finish, surprising finish. I wasn't expecting them to put Morrison over. Very promising, very promising. You don't need to put Evan Bourne over because everyone loves him already. And fantastic. I mean, there was a great spot in the middle of the match where Morrison's up on the top rope and Evan Bourne does a leaping Hurricane Rana on him, and he didn't quite pull it off. He landed on his head, but the fact that he got even halfway to doing it was incredibly impressive. And 5 stars I would give this match. Much better than I would expect to see on a televised weekly broadcast. Probably the best match I've seen on a televised weekly broadcast since Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin on Raw, however long ago that was, a long time. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Thumbs up. So after this, we moved on. Had a brief promo for SmackDown, a trailer. And apparently this week SmackDown will be all Raw storylines, furthering that SmackDown is now Raw's bitch theory. But I'm beginning to get to the point where I don't really care if SmackDown is Raw's bitch as long as Raw kind of keeps its nose out, because SmackDown now has some great wrestlers drafted and I want to watch them wrestle each other, and Raw, for all I care, can be all about lumbering idiots like Triple H and Batista and John Cena battling each other out for who's the least gifted athlete. I mean, I'm worried because this week it's all Raw on SmackDown. Batista will take on Ted DiBiase. Oh, Can't wait for that. Anyway, we moved on, and we had Vladimir Kozlov's ECW debut, the only person to be drafted to ECW in the main draft. Of course, the supplemental draft remains to be seen. And Kozlov comes out and faces some local athlete whose name I didn't even bother to remember, because it was exactly the same as the first 20 matches we saw Kozlov in. Unbelievable squash. Kozlov didn't do anything we haven't seen him do before. I was hoping that they would use his move to ECW with some wrestling talent to expand his abilities, but no, it just looks like more squashes that nobody wants to see. Waste of a match slot. Rubbish. Terrible. Not impressed. Josh Matthews said something about, we only got one pick in the draft, but it's quality over quantity, but as far as I can see, they didn't get either. Next up, we had a short interlude. Tiffany, the new general manager, or interim general manager of ECW, why she's qualified to be interim general manager, I don't know. First, she was talking to Paul Burchill and Katie Lee, who I think are underrated. I think they're quite often forgotten. They're both actually very talented, I think. And it's a shame they get overlooked the way they do. They were just talking about the draft and how they don't want to get split up. I think that might be hinting that they might be getting split up, although I don't think anybody really cares, so I'm not really sure why this was brought up. But anyway, they sort of bugger off after Tiffany tells them that they're just the same as everybody else and they'll have to log in to make sure they don't get split up. And Jack Swagger appears and says, it's the first episode of WWE Superstars, the new show on Thursday. You should give the fans what they want and give them a Q&A with me so they can get to know me. Jack Swagger doing his usual egotistical thing. And Tiffany says, that's a great idea, Jack, but I've actually already booked the final of the Chase to Backlash for Superstars. Surely that should be next week's ECW main event. Why is this being put on Superstars? What's ECW going to have on it next week as its main event? I don't understand this at all. Very, very bizarre. But that's going to be on Superstars. It's not the Superstars main event, of course, but it's going to be there. And then Tiffany congratulates Swagger on his sterling performance against John Cena on Raw, and they have this incredible flirty end to this segment. I don't really understand what was going on there, but it was kind of a bit provocative. Next, we had a brief promo for Superstars, advertising the main event as The Undertaker will make his mark. And I thought, alright, The Undertaker, he's resurfacing for this show, and that's going to be interesting. Who could that be against? The Undertaker takes on Matt Hardy. Why? We all know that that's just going to be The Undertaker beating the shit out of Matt Hardy, and it's be rubbish, and probably set the tone for this show. It'll probably end up being rubbish, but I hold out hope. Fingers crossed that they can pull something out of the bag. We'll see on Thursday. And then next we had the main event of ECW. We had the semi-final, I suppose, of the championship chase. Christian, Finlay and Tommy Dreamer remained. Actually a very interesting match. This match was probably as good as it could have been, given that Finlay and Tommy Dreamer are rubbish. Finlay the tactician appeared for most of the match. Smart wrestling tactics, isolating Tommy Dreamer in the ring and occasionally going out to further incapacitate Christian on the outside. I didn't think that Finlay had any kind of tactical basis, so I was actually quite impressed with that. Some good wrestling psychology involved there. Tommy Dreamer hit the usual offence, lumbered about quite a lot, but looked a little better. Finlay looked a little better than usual. Christian didn't get to do as much as I would like, but got quite a couple of nice dives to the outside, nice dive off the top rope onto the outside, which was good. I enjoyed that quite a lot, more than I expected. And the match ended with all three of them ended up back in the ring, and Christian got tied up on the ropes, incapacitated, and I thought Tommy Dreamer was going to have it, because they've been playing up this Tommy Dreamer is going to leave if he doesn't recapture the ECW title. But no, Finlay hit the Celtic Cross and got the pin. So on Superstars, it'll be Finlay against Christian, and whoever wins faces Jack Swagger at Backlash for the ECW title. But I was thinking from this show, heel face feud over the ECW title, Christian, John Morrison, stunning wrestling could come out of that. There's so much potential there. That would be so good, so worth watching, and I'm hoping beyond hope that they do that. I'm not betting on it, but I'm hoping for it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. Comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you thought, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.